Hey guys, my name is James Hancock and I just got out of seeing The Bad Guys 2. Earlier this week I just reviewed the first Bad Guys movie. You guys can go down to my YouTube channel and see that. But for now, let's talk about the sequel. So going into this movie, I enjoyed the first one. It was literally like an Ocean's 11 movie for kids. So seeing the trailer for the sequel, it seemed like it promised bigger, badder, which it did, but still somewhat fell flat from the original. But what can you say? The first one was, in my opinion, extremely good and hard to top. The sequel leads a bit harder into the chaos. The animation has progressed in this movie, especially the expression of the characters. And the action does hit a bit harder, but it gets a bit wonkier than the first one. Granted, how can this get more wonkier? It's talking animals living among humans. But while the animation and the style seems like it got better, the comedy kind of explodes more with the emphasis on some of the jokes in the earlier movie that didn't really land. But what worked with this movie is all the characters are back. They're cooler. They're very cooler than ever. Awesome. And still entertaining in their own ways. Mr. Wolf, still hands down smooth criminal. Mr. Shark, very good master of disguise. Hop back into that immediately. Miss Tarantula, still an amazing hacker. And Mr. Piranha, still very angry, but more emphasis on his bomb farts. And we can't forget Governor Foxington. She's still very good, but with less to do in this movie, which is more understandable because he introduced a new batch of criminals, and we'll get to those in a little bit. So with this introduction to the new crew of baddies that are here, it's an all-women thieving crew. So you have Kitty Cat, who's obviously the leader, a very fierce, very built cat. You have Susan, aka Doom. She's a raven in this movie. And she's a very slick raven. Like, she's very cool and very sly. And she's very deceiving. And then you have Pigtail Petrova. I hope I didn't butcher that name. Did I? A wild boar. She's strong, muscle, but doesn't really seem like she's that smart. So they introduced these characters, and honestly, these characters are entertaining for what they give us. Like every single one of them. Kitty's fierce. Susan is very sly and slick. And the boar, she's likable and she's entertaining too. But more so, I really like Kitty's motives. Granted, it's very out there and very crazy. And since she really wanted this plan to go well so badly, just how everything worked out with her plan to get the bad guys into all this as well. Just how that slowly builds up to is interesting too. What didn't work with this movie was it tried to be more, and it succeeded to be more, but it just wasn't as entertaining. It didn't grab me like the first one did. I understand that this is a children's movie, but the first one really did have a place in my heart. And like I said before, there was no way they could have even gotten better than that. They try to get crazier. They emphasize more on the fart jokes. But they did have some jokes that were just like, whoa, this is a kid's movie? This movie was fun, but just not as clever. It seemed like they tried to do a little too much more, which they succeeded at, but it still came flat. Because 1 minute we're on Earth, another minute we're in space. Just everything with that was just, it seemed like there was a plan A and not a plan B, and we skipped a few steps. Standout moments in this movie is obviously, once again, the opening car chase scene. They had it in the first one, they had it in this one. Just how that was just very cool, and it was much more animated. Like, there was a lot of paying attention to the detail. So it was really out there. I wish this movie was in 3D because that would have been cool to really see that. So, like, if you are a fan of the first one, go see this because the first one was good, but just don't expect as much like entertainment in this one as you've gotten from the first one. The story's still good though. Not trying to put the story down at all, but they could have given us more. So yeah, The Bad Guys 2, It gets a entertainment. A wild ride that's beautiful, somewhat funny, but it just doesn't hit as hard as the original. So what did you guys think of The Bad Guys 2? If you guys saw it, comment below and tell me, did you enjoy it? Did you think it was crazier? Which characters stood out to you more? Comment what you think and hit that sub if you really like the videos that I'm putting out. What did you think of The Bad Guys 2? Did it top the original, or was it just louder with the lack of charm? So if you like my vibe, like and subscribe. And I'm James Hancock, signing off.